Time to start putting that picker back together. We heading over to J&S. Bo called me, said they got my side shields kind of mocked up. Need to go test fit them before they put the final welds and paint them for me. So we're gonna go see just what they look like, see how much he's able to improve that design. All right, this is what he's got kind of mocked up. As you can tell, just got some spot welds on these bolt hole supports right here, just in case they're not lined up completely perfect and need to move them. You know, he was marking them off of my old panels, which were rusted, and some of the holes were halfway gone, so some of them are kind of guesstimates. But looking here's the old design. As you can tell, we got a piece of channel inside of a piece of channel, and this one's a little bit open at this end where all the rest of them that were badly rusted were not. See, we can keep this one right here, but you know, all of this up under here is completely hollow, and you just got little bitty holes right here that all this dirt and stuff from the picker, it can get in, but then you got to try and clean it out of there, and it's just almost impossible. Then of course he gets back behind there, it gets wet, and when it gets wet, it rusts. Just an absolutely piss poor design. So got with Bo, and he designed these to where, you know, all we got is just some channels right here where the bolt holes go, but all the rest of it's open to where you can't pack any kind of dirt and stuff in there, real easily clean out. And then these right here where the bolt holes are, it's going to be completely welded all the way around to completely seal it off. So this should be a permanent fix, not have any more problems with it. So we're going to get them up there on the picker and see how well these bolt holes line up and see if they're ready for the final weld up. All right, we had the parts come in for this, so we decided to take a break from the picker, get this truck finished back up. We wound up pretty much revamping the whole exhaust. This is the $900 exhaust pipe from International. I wonder how much a non-chrome one would have been. But anyway, that flex pipe up under there, we took it out to replaced it. It was looking a little rusty, and just decided to go ahead and revamp all of it. And then we swiveled our muffler around to get this pipe away from the cab supports where it had punctured a hole in it. So got all that done, and then in the process we found out that our exhaust tip up here was about to meet its maker. It's not supposed to let rain in like that. We'll find another one of those. So ought to have good looking exhaust. And then just looking over the truck, our inside rear tires are toast. The outside ones and the front ones could probably get another season on them. That's what I was going to try to do, but our inside ones are going to be showing metal before long. So got 8 new tires waiting for me over there at Best One, $550 a piece, times 8. So that's what it takes to keep the truck running. I'm glad I've only got one truck and not multiple trucks though. Anyway, we about got this and taken care of what we do now, so we're gonna get these pieces fitted on the picker, let Bo know if they need a little adjustment, if they're ready for the final weld and paint. All right, we got the new panels mounted up there, and they fit pretty dang good. Got just a little bit of modifying. Oh my gosh, you wasn't joking, Andy. I did have a big old spot of grease.
It's your symbol.
Anyways, got to do a little modified on some of the holes. Got to wallow out the holes just a little bit because they're off, like the holes that the bolt holes that they put in there off like maybe 1/8 of an inch. And then over here on the other side, it's got to do a little wallering out. And then the one where we had to measure the bolt holes, they're off a good bit and need to be moved a little bit, so that's why we mocked them up there. So now we got that done, we got everything marked what needs to be done on each of them. We're going to take them back off, take them back over there, and let them finished them up, and we should have some panels that last the life of this picker. They're just a little bit lighter than the original ones, aren't they?
That's what when I first picked them up, I was like, huh, these are a little lighter.
I guess rust must be pretty heavy. So anyway, I'm real pleased with them. So we'll see what the finished product looks like. But if you're interested in it, now that Bo's done one set, I'm pretty sure he won't mind doing another set. So call J&S Welding in Humboldt, Tennessee, and I believe he'll be able to hook you up.
We've seen a lot of great engineering in just working on this picker, but I believe this one is the best. The drain plug is just right on top of the beam here, so it just drains.
Yeah, I kind of noticed it. That's one reason I kind of assigned the job to you.
Yeah, well, I definitely figured it out.
I mean, how hard would it be to put like a 90-degree plug with a little drop hose and a...
Just scooted the hole over. I mean, to an inch, so it would clear that.
Yeah, I say you struck oil again on the floor.
One more time. We're getting rich.
We ought to buy stock in oil dry. And what Andy's doing now, he's draining the oil out of the transmission there. Probably had never been done, so starting off new over here, it's gonna start off with some fresh oil, and after that, we got the final drives. But it appears that engineers are not getting any smarter with added experience and newer equipment.
They're still lacking a little bit.
All right. Well, I just got the phone call from More Pumps. They got our hydraulic cylinders ready. I know it's close to 5, but you and Kelly got to spray them on. I can't put them in by myself, so I'm gonna run and get the cylinders and see if we can slap them on real quick. That way I can be working on this thing by myself while y'all spraying.
All right, that'll be fine.
So I'll be back as soon as I can. All right, gonna put these cylinders back in. I don't expect they're gonna go in quite as easy as they came out. Maybe we'll get surprised though. Oh yeah, much better.
You want a washer on it?
No. All right, I need a pair of pliers to get these caps off of. All right, we're going to pull it out a good bit. It can't be a long one. Let me see that pull handle beneath you. Oh boy, it's sort of stiff. There we go. All right, this is gonna be tricky because we got a spacer up in there. And we gotta get this thing the right length. Oh. I'm gonna have to hold this thing while you attempt to lift it up and get it up in there.
Let's see what you're talking about. It's in there.
All right.
I don't know how far we are.
Well, we're pretty dang close. It needs to go out a hair more. All right, one done. The hard one done is behind that duct. All right, now that I've gotten Kelly and Andy out spraying cotton, hopefully for the last time, but I doubt it, but maybe we'll get lucky. Get back on this picker, gonna finish servicing it. Still got these, Andy got the transmission done. I still got these final drives to do, and it's probably gonna make a mess. I had to go get a special 8-point socket to fit on these square-headed plugs because they haven't been out since probably 2010 when this thing was built, and they was wanting to round off whenever just using a regular wrench. So I'm gonna try and make this as clean as possible. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is the that ain't gonna work well. But it's gonna make a mess. Well, what kind of grayish looking? That oil don't look too good.
this funnel ain't working. It ain't flowing fast enough. That ought to work. How about that old exhaust pipe? That works good. I believe the EPA would probably classify my shop as a toxic work environment right now. As much oil as we got all over the floor. All right, let's see if we can do a little bit better job on this side here. Uh-oh. Lost my plug. Man, that's got gear oil in it, not hydraulic oil. I'm gonna check the owner's manual. Normally these final drives got hydraulic oil in them. That's mighty thick to be having hydraulic oil. Alright, I was right. That is gear oil in there. Not only do the final drives take gear oil, but rear axle gearbox takes gear oil. The planetaries on the rear axle take gear oil, and the rear axle itself takes gear oil. Total about 8 gallons. You know anything about oils? Gear oil is a lot more expensive than hydraulic oil. These 2 5-gallon buckets that I bought, totaling $240, and we're going to use most of it. But you're only supposed to change this every 2,000 hours, so it'll last us quite a few years. All right, back here on the back axle, a little bit different than what you normally see on like combines and older cotton pickers. Normally, you know, mud hog, you got a hydraulic motor on each axle, or on each rear wheel. Well, this picker, kind of like a true 4-wheel drive system, it's got a hydraulic motor that goes to a rear chunk here on this rear axle, and then you got drive shafts going over to each wheel, because this thing is a full-time 4-wheel drive. There's no option to turn it on or off, even when you're going down the road. So we got rear axle oil to change too. Just got a little bit of sludge there on the end of the magnetic plug. No big chunks or shavings or anything, so that's a good sign. Just normal wear and tear. That oil don't look the best though. It looks pretty black, so good thing we're changing it. So we got to drain this one, and then this is the gearbox for the rear axle that the hydraulic motor goes into. We got to change it also. So check back in when we'll get all this stuff filled up. All right, it sounds like Andy just got done spraying for the day, and I'm about to call it quits. We got both final drives done, got the rear axle done, rear axle gearbox. Had some oil seeping around here, around the hydrostat and hydraulic pump and everything. Tightened clamps up. I did find one clamp in there that was stripped out. Got that replaced. Got our gearbox drive reservoir drained, and about to fill it up in there. And then all the fluids will be changed on this thing, except for the gearboxes on each unit, and not a whole lot of oil on that. The big stuff is done. No telling how many. I bet we've done put 30 gallons of oil in this thing, and that's not counting changing the hydraulic reservoir. This thing, I think the hydraulic reservoir holds 65 gallons, but there's 95 gallons total in all the hoses and everything. But we're not going to change the hydraulic oil. That gets pretty pricey. So all this other stuff's going to be in good shape, and then tomorrow, not sure what we're going to get into. Might get into some more paint prep. Really need to get that done, or might get started on the units. I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow. All right, did you get all the cotton spray?
I finally did. It's all covered. Hopefully there's no more bugs.
Well, good deal. Well, hope you like sprayer, because you'll be hopping back on it pretty soon. Wheat bean's about ready for fungicide.
Oh yeah, that's. You can use a little bit of auto steer on that one. That'd be super nice.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you think of our panels here?
They look beautiful. I think he did a great job on them.
They look a whole lot better than those rust buckets I took over there.
Yeah. As long as those 2 little ones that could scoot over a bit.
Yeah, they got all the little tweaking done to them, so hopefully they should bolt right on up pretty good. So anyway, these 4 panels, I priced them through John Deere. Going to be about $2,500 for these 4 panels. Now these that Bo made for me at J&S, they're not cheap, but considering that I mean, he's had to make everything from scratch, bend the metal, everything, drill holes, weld nuts on there and everything. You know, there's quite a bit of labor involved in them, but he said the bill for these four is going to be roughly around $1,600. So not only is it a better design that should last the life of the picker, you know, $900 cheaper than what it costs from John Deere, that, you know, we know what's going to happen to those. They're just going to rust out again.
Every picker at Tennessee tractor had rust all over it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some pickers that have been maintained well. The guys take the time to really try and clean those panels out good at the end of the year, but then there's a lot of them that they just want to get that thing halfway clean and park it under the shed and don't get all the nooks and crannies and stuff like we like to get, and they just rust out. Anyway, while Andy was finishing up spraying and everything, I've been working most of the day today on trying to get the rest of this paint prepped to paint here, and all up along there, up on top and everything. You know, we wire brushed it with our grinder, and then also been messing around with this janky old sandblaster in the areas we can't really get a wire brush. And anyway, I mean, we got it prepped about as good as we can. Up there, up under the accumulator, there's a big sheet though. There ain't nothing we can do for there. We can't get to it or anything like that. It's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be. Regardless, even if the sandblaster just did just kind of a fair job, we at least got enough sand on the floor to soak up all the oil spills from servicing this thing. All right, Andy, I want to get this rest of this sand blown off the machine. I'm gonna try and get it primered, might even get a coat of paint on it. Once you come up here on these heads, about the only oil we got left to change is each one of these unit gearboxes. Now there's a drain plug where it drains inside the unit. I don't like that. I don't like messing with it. I just figured we just take the top off there and suction it out. We get the vast majority of it out and be a little bit quicker, and definitely won't be as messy.
How do you plan on sucking it out?
I just use that brake bleeding tool. That ought to work pretty well. Well, let me get this thing cleaned up, and I'll bring you back when I start coloring the inside of the shop. All right, it's been a while since I painted. See if I can remember how to do this without making a big mess. All right, we got all the rusty areas primered. See that up there? We're gonna go ahead and put at least one coat of paint on there. That way it can be curing overnight, and we can be working on this again tomorrow. Now, starting off Friday with a nice bonfire, burning all the chemical boxes from the last several weeks. That sucker got hot. All right, we're going to try and make a big push on this thing today. We're back to full strength in the shop here. Andy done spraying cotton, so pretty much done changing all the fluids except for the rear hub. So I'm gonna get started up here on my head work, and while I'm doing that, get Andy started on replacing some lights on this picker. We're gonna all the halogen bulbs except for the 6 right there on the cab are going to get replaced with LEDs. Should really brighten up the night, plus lessen the load on the alternator. I think I counted something like 14 halogen bulbs surrounding all this, and they draw quite a bit of power. So first off, before we start replacing them, hop up there in the cab, let's cut the lights on and make sure they're all burning. We got power going to all of them. It could simplify things later. Those that you just turned on the last one, turn them off. That's road lights, I think. Yeah, that's your field lights. Left turn signal. All right. All right, that one works. That one. That one. All right, we got two up there. Not sure when they're supposed to come on. That one's not on. Right turn signal. That's working. And it looks like those on top of the cab are working. They just pointed the wrong way. All right, we got one on the other side that's not working, and the two on the back of the baler not working. They might not be on because it's in transport mode. Not sure owner's manual even clear. All right, turn your left turn signal on. All right, we're gonna test and see which color wire is power, because we're going to splice into these harnesses here. All right, black wire is going to be hot, white's going to be ground. All right, here's all the lights. Got some 4-inch square LEDs. I run them on my combine. I've got them on planter, a couple other things. Been really happy with them, nice and bright. Seem to last a while, and they're reasonably priced. I think at Quake LED, that's where I buy them all from. I think they list for like $42, but I say we're needing like 14 or 15 of them, plus I need a couple more on my combine, and so it's got a case of 20, and they cut me 20% off. So anyway, that's what they look like. Now we're going to splice in right here. What you do is you'll take the old light bulb off and then cut the pigtail off of it with a weather pack fitting, and then you'll splice that weather pack fitting onto here to where it can plug back into the factory wiring harness there.
Okay.
So red's going to be positive, so red is going to go to black, and then black is going to go to either
White.
White.
White or possibly even red.
Yeah, but I think this bracket right here just bolts onto the camera, or it bolts onto the light, and then bolts up just like the old one's going to come off. Should be pretty easy to install. Just got a lot of them put on.
All right. Well, let's make it bright. It's gonna be like a spaceship.
It's gonna be as bright as the August sun.